security in Medellin. So
Safety in Medellin.
We've had a few incidents in the cafe where
Welcome to How to Expat. My name is Tacha.
My name is Sam, and at How to Expat, we help expats relocate. This video I want to talk about how safe or how unsafe Colombia actually is with boots on the ground story and our knowledge of living in the country full time for the last couple of years. So when we came to Colombia, or when we planned to come to Colombia, we were well traveled. We went to Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, to many other places which are deemed dangerous. But still, when we came here, we thought, okay, let's see what's actually about, because the mainstream media doesn't really help. The only thing we see on our main news sites and stuff is just, that everybody's getting killed, another social leader is dead in the countryside of Colombia or whatever. So how is it actually really like if you're planning to live in Colombia? So I think the three things people are scared of is that you get killed, kidnapped, or something like that. And if you look at the statistics like St. Louis, New Orleans, all of those places have higher homicide rates than in Colombia. So what the real issue is here in Colombia is burglary. So that somebody robs you with gunpoint, knife point, something like that. And how do you say, is that more likely, or do you feel more unsafe than in the big city anywhere else, let's say New York or in LA or something?
I wouldn't say so. I think it comes down to street smartness, don't flash your stuff and all of that. I don't think that it's different compared to other countries. And also here, you know that people don't actually want to harm you, they just want your stuff. This is a difference to other big cities where they actually harm people before even robbing them. So here it's different. So they just give them the stuff, don't resist the robbery, and that's pretty much it. Exactly.
We know, of course, some stories of people getting robbed, people having a knife pointed at them or something like that. But really we don't know, even from a source or anything like that something really bad has happened. The worst thing that usually happens is if people get really drugged with scopolamine, which is another topic for maybe another video. And then they feel the effects of that drug for around 1 to 2 days afterwards or something like that. But that's really the worst. Usually it's just somebody approaching you and you give them a stuff and that's it. Is that more likely to happen here in Latin America or no? The question is a little bit, how do you behave? Because even though let's say you might be poor or middle class in the US, you're a rich person here, which is usually a little bit the bigger dynamic. But we will talk about that a little bit afterward in this video. Now we want to show you what our friends say, so you get a better idea how it really could be like here in Colombia.
security in Medellin. So here's how I see it. So so long as you are in specific places and you have specific things that you do, you're fine. I mean, nothing really should happen to you. If you deviate from that, something could happen. But basically, so long as you're not stupid about it, you're perfectly fine and safe in Colombia, specifically in Medellin. That's what I would say.
We can say that we have felt very safe in Colombia. I would say, just like any other big city, you just be careful and you be cautious. You may not know all the areas, so you ask someone where you might want to go, where you might not want to go. I haven't found any reason to feel nervous or anxious when I walk the streets, and people that I've met have been very friendly and supportive.
Safety in Medellin. Me being here, especially African American from the United States, I can't say, I can only say that it's much safer here than I've ever experienced in the United States. And I haven't had a problem with going anywhere in the city at all. Even if you don't speak the language all that well, come here, just do the right thing, and stay away from the bad crowd. You'll be just fine.
So in my whole time in Colombia, I've never been in an unsafe situation, or maybe I have, but I haven't ever felt unsafe. We've had a few incidents in the cafe where people they've just taken the opportunity. So I think if you just put something tempting in front of someone who's in a difficult situation, they're going to take advantage. Excellent. But the majority of people, very honest, lovely, and and no problems. I felt more unsafe in London and Sydney and yeah.
Okay. So more pickpocketing than really like violent crimes here.
Yeah, I haven't seen any violence. No violent crimes, nothing like that. Yeah, more like stealing money and things like that.
I feel like Medellin is extremely safe. First week when I moved here, I was kind of like a little bit more on edge walking through the streets. But after walking through them for like a couple weeks to a month, I feel a lot safer. Only thing I would suggest is like when you're walking, make sure to not have your phones out, because I have heard stories of people getting robbed. If you're going on dates, make sure to always watch your drink. Just use common sense.
So I hoped that the perspectives of our friends living here in Colombia helped you a little bit to wrap your head around about safety here in Colombia. So what I wanted to talk about are like 3 things you have to follow, kind of rules you have to follow in order to avoid being robbed or getting into a dangerous situation. So one of the things is don't talk loud outside, like especially in English, to make obvious that you're a gringo, because as a gringo you're still perceived as a rich person. So the likelihood is, pretty big, way bigger, that they're gonna target you than someone else. Then the other thing is, don't walk around alone, especially at night in empty streets, because this is where usually the fleteros, they call it, the people on the motorcycles, pull up and rob you. And so even though it's just 2 blocks, if it's 2 a.m. in the morning, you'd rather take a cab, really. Like, we heard so many stories, exactly that happened. 2 blocks away, they didn't take a taxi and they got robbed. And the last thing is showing off in general, just like walking around with the big old camera, flashing stuff, just being, that's called dar papaya, giving them a reason to rob you. You're a low-hanging fruit, they call it, right? So that's pretty much 3 rules you should kind of follow, to keep safe.
Exactly. So dar papaya is a saying here in Colombia that everybody uses to say, don't be the low-hanging fruit. So, I think in a summary, to sum it up, is it very dangerous here in Colombia? Is it not? I think if you follow these 3 rules that Tasha just explained, it's really not too big of a deal. Be aware that you are a foreigner, so you are perceived as a rich person, which you probably are if you if you looked at the average salary here is $500 a month. So also if you, let's say, for example, order 3 flat screens for your unfurnished apartment, that's not what a lot of people can afford here. So think of it that you are a rich person now and you want to behave like that, a little discreet and things like that. If you do that, it's really not too big of a deal. If you stay away from the bad places, from the bad activities, it's not really big of a deal. For example, we travel around the world. For example, in Jamaica, we felt way more unsafe. In New York, we felt more unsafe than what we do here. In LA, we felt more unsafe in certain parts of San Francisco. So it's like any other big city in the Americas. If you apply those rules that you would do in New York, you would be fine. What we always tell our clients on our sneak peek services, so where we show people the city of Medellin, is if you're from New York and you have the street smarts from there, you're gonna be fine here. You don't even have to worry about it. If you're from some outskirts in Colorado and you know all your neighbors by name, then we have to sit down together and we have to explain you something. But that's pretty, I think, sums it up. Is there anything you want to add?
That's pretty much it now. And if you want to get more tips, more insights of how it is to live here in Medellin or in Colombia in general, we offer Skype consultations where we can answer all the questions about life here, about taxes, whatever it is. We would love to help you, and you find the link in the description down below.